Hello, my darling Fumi Nation. How are you? How are we for this wonderful Wednesday extravaganza with none other than my beautiful, gorgeous Gloria Elijah from Frankly Speaking with Gloria. Let us bring her up, my darling. Hello, sunshine.
Good evening, good evening, good evening. Thank you so much.
You're so welcome, Gloria. How are you? How was your day? How
Thank
are
you.
things?
It was great. Hectic. I was literally running home like I must be on time, and I'm glad I'm
Oh,
here.
oh, I'm so sorry for the pressure. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry,
Nah,
my darling. But
nah.
I'm always excited to see your beautiful face and also to pick on your intellect because, darling, you're just
Thank
so
you.
fabulous. And I am so happy for all my glory queens. I live and love you for the Fulmination as well, because we are
Thank
here
you.
for the Real Housewives of Lagos, season 3, the reunion part 2, darling. Part 2 was sensational, sensational. And what can I say? What can I say? It was what I was kind of sort of expecting in relation to Mariam. No, sorry, not Mariam, to Caroline and Dabota.
Hmm.
I knew there was going to be this long-winded, stretched out conversation about how it all jumped off. And, we did not know how deep it was until everybody went to Ghana.
Yeah.
What is your take, my darling? Please take the floor, my wonderful guest.
Oh my God. First of all, thank you so much, Auntie Fumi, for bringing me back. It's
You're
always a
welcome.
pleasure, talking to you. Thank you so much. For real, the part two of the reunion, it was kind of underwhelming for me. I
Mhm.
felt like they gave so much time to an issue that was not meant to be overly stretched on the
Yeah.
show
Yes.
without giving attention to necessary questions that should have been asked. So at some point, it just felt like the host did not know what to do and was just there. Or it just felt like production probably decided that, okay, let's allow Caroline and Dabuta to take about probably 20 minutes of the entire time just ranting. Everything you were saying, I was lost. I did not know what they were talking about. I've heard them talk about bits and pieces, but I was lost, as a viewer. So it was really underwhelming. There were things that needed attention that was not touched at all. And I was quite disappointed.
Yes. I tell you this, they have to look for another host. Not because he's
For
not
real.
good. I just think that he's not a right match for this show. There are so many intricate details, and the way women operate is very different from a heterosexual man. Let's say this. Do I
Mm,
think that the host watched the entire season? I couldn't tell you. He was overly
mm,
polite, and I think it's difficult for him because there are boundaries as a man to a woman, you know?
mm.
Whereas if there was a woman hosting, then those parameters are blended because it's woman to woman, and we are able to pick up on our 17th, 18th, 19th, 20th cent. We understand what's going on. Nothing flies over our head. Men are not like that. They're
Yes.
like, well, it's just banter, whatever, whatever, and then they just go over. The entire hosting that he did for the season, for part 1 and part 2, bless him, but it wasn't a right fit. They have to find
Mm,
somebody that is passionate, like you, passionate. You're in Lagos, you know the questions to ask, so that way the reunion is fire. Because you're right, there were things that were not addressed in the entire season, and it was like this Pandora's box that was opening at the
mm.
you literally have to come to the reunion to understand what the entire season was about. And I think the mentality is save it for the reunion. No, don't save it for the
Yes.
reunion. elaborate at the reunion, but let us
Mm-hmm.
walk through it with you so that we understand. Because Caroline looked like a mad box of frogs just going off on Dabota in Ghana. It didn't make sense, most especially
Mm-hmm.
when I had gone to Dabota's house. So I want to address that because she said that Dabota had said that she had sprained her ankle. And so she felt that, oh, it must be really bad. Let me go over and see her. And Caroline, if this is somebody that you've not seen in how many 8 years and have offended you, and they have now at the last minute told you they sprained their ankle, they cannot go. Why would you go? Why would you go? You fell into the lion's den. She did not plan it.
Mm-hmm.
She did not plot it. She did not say, oh, I'm going to come up with this idea. I've sprained my ankle. Even with that, I am under the impression, and it was again not addressed, that maybe Dabota didn't even want to have the one-on-one, face-to-face in her house or go to her house. But Caroline decided to volunteer
Mm.
herself and went over there where she saw Ehi. But Dabota and Ehi are friends. This ex-husband, that ex-husband, and you were standing one corner to music or whatever. Focus on your husband.
Yeah.
That's why divorced. The man is useless, as you can clearly see. He didn't even have any time to say, let me get over you. He'd been gotten over you in the marriage and had moved on. Having said that, there is a
Mm-hmm.
girl. That's if you are friends. You're not friends. Dabota said that she saw her and then didn't see her. And did you see how she was shaking? Dabota, I almost thought she was going to fly off of the couch and swim and fly like a
Yeah,
bird.
it was funny. No, it was funny to watch. It was funny to watch. And for me, yeah, for real, I felt like Caroline invested so much energy
Ah,
in
please.
what wasn't even a friendship between herself and Dabota. They were not friends. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
The fact that you reach out to someone when the person was having a marital issue, and then when you had your issue, you were there was she placed so much expectation on Dabota that I faulted her for, because I'm thinking, first of all, from her explanation, you don't know this girl. It was your stylist is it at the salon that was
Yeah.
talking to her, and you,
Mm-hmm.
out of your own goodwill, decided to reach out. So you
Yes.
reaching out, nobody placed any expectation on you to reach out. You did it out of your own volition. So why were you expecting that much loyalty and obligation from, let's say, a total stranger that, oh, when you
Mm-hmm.
went through yours, she did not reach out to you? It would have been a different situation if, whilst Caroline was going through her own situation, Dabota was joining the bloggers to bash
Yes.
Caroline. Then she has
Yes.
every right
Yes.
to be
Yes.
upset. But her expecting Dabota to play the role of a friend, I felt like that was too much expectation. You don't place too much expectations on people like that, especially people that you do not know. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, you cannot want Dabota to choose between a friend that is more like a sister, and you that is just a stranger that showed concern at some point. So for that, I really faulted Caroline. And I think she really needs to do well to learn to separate her emotions from people. I think she places too much expectations on relationships. I saw the same thing happen between herself and Chioma, although that's in season one, although Chioma really, threw her under the bus. But you
Correct.
can tell that she's a very emotional person, very sensitive. And she
Mm-hmm.
tends to, once she feels like she clicks with you, she places
She
so
holds
much
on to you.
expectation on you.
Yes. Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yes. Yes. It's unfortunate because, like you said, and this is across the board, and this is my experience going forward. The minute you expect anything from anybody, or you rely and invest in anybody, you're going to run into trouble. I strongly,
True.
strongly advise not to do that because you will be
True.
disappointed. Why? Because nobody can carry you. And if they can't, but for a
Yeah.
while, I always say, jump
Mm.
onto the scale. How much do you weigh? It's not the number. But if you can't carry
Mm.
it, you can't expect somebody else to carry it. When I was in
Mm.
Niger, going to school and uni and everything, I went to so many parties. I cannot tell you whose house it was. I can't tell you what address that was. You just went with your group of friends and you would just party hop. You know
Mm.
how it is. So I would not know whose house. You know what? I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know whose
Yeah,
house it was. I would not know, especially that she has left the marital home. And that was what I would have loved Caroline to understand. This is Dabota, who is not your friend in that light, because she would have come to see in your marital home. She would have not,
exactly.
this is not a Caroline's house. That is how it would have
Mm-hmm.
gone down. For the mere fact that she
Mm-hmm.
didn't know it was your house tells me the kind of relationship you guys had. It wasn't that deep and heavy. It wasn't that deep and
Mm.
heavy, because I know my
Mm-hmm.
friends, sister, you understand me? They would have said, oh, for me, wait 1 minute, I said, I can't be here, or let me come here and see if Caroline is here, or text Caroline and say, Caroline, they're doing party in your house, so how far? Where are you? What's happening? Let me
Mm-hmm.
just see. It's over here. Let me see what is happening. None of that transpired. Dabota herself, I don't understand all the way. I just put it onto Caroline because I feel that Caroline, because if you peeped it, remember when Caroline and Mariam were gisting, and then Mariam now kind of held back. She didn't want to talk too much when she was talking to Deola. Remember, I think that they had spent the following day. Yes, this was in the beachfront house in Dabota's place. When the following day they said, okay, that they'll confront Dabota, because why was Dabota complaining that Mariam was late and this, that, and the third? But then, Mariam, after observing Dabota the following day and saw that Dabota wasn't prepared to fight, she wasn't prepared to quarrel, Mariam decided, okay, it's not that serious. But you see, Caroline, in many ways, she's very rigid. If she sets out to do something, she has to carry it through. She doesn't read people's emotions. She just sticks to how she feels, and she wants to carry that through. And in so doing, she's getting disappointed left and right.
Hmm. Yeah,
You
I
know,
totally
bless her.
agree with that, Auntie Fumi. I totally agree. And you see, yeah, people like Caroline, I mean, okay, are you there? Sorry, you froze for a bit.
Oh, I'm
Yeah, so
here.
I was
Sorry,
saying,
sorry.
okay, yeah, so I said that I agree with you. And from how Caroline has portrayed herself on the show, from what I have watched in season one and even this third season, I've come to realize that Caroline is more of like, if you give her teeth, she gives you tat. You know,
Mm,
she's not the type that allows anybody to dictate her reactions to anything. So all you
mhm.
need to do is to just trigger her just a little bit. It doesn't matter if it's a massive trigger or a little trigger, because she has her own trauma. She has a lot of things that she has gone through, in her marriage, right? And it has
Mm,
scarred her a lot, the betrayal and whatnot. There's a possibility of betrayals as well in other areas of her life. I don't know. But because it's the marriage we know about, you can tell
yes,
that she was deeply scarred from that
yes,
marriage, and
yeah.
so because of that, she has this rigid defense mechanism all around her. She
Mm,
loves when she loves. You see the way she's so playful with everybody. Oh, I love you,
yeah,
my darling. But the moment you just trigger her, she will
that's
go
it.
all out. Yes, she
Yes.
will go all out to the finish. Yeah.
For some reason, we couldn't get any finality with Dabota and Caroline. Caroline said
Mm.
that she did not say hello to Ehi. Dabota said that she did say hello to Ehi, that she hugged Ehi, and that everything was so copacetic that Dabota did not tap into any kind of iciness from Caroline to Ehi. She said she didn't see it. The thing for me, again, like I said, Caroline, and I think it was with all of them. Say what you mean what you say. If you walked in there, and that's, again, this is me. Oh, Glory, I'm kind of upset with you. This hurt my feelings, and I just want to address it. Please,
Mhm.
let this thing not happen again. Then I will give you space Fumi, you know, this is what happened. I reacted as such. Okay. I will not come to anybody. I would do it. Get dressed, wear makeup, lipstick, perfume, jump into my car, get into the traffic to go to somebody that I'm pissed off with. Absolutely not. And then on top of that, I see somebody who I feel, and a lot of girls do that, and I can understand. You cannot be friends because this is a woman that your husband is in love with. And if you're still tied to all of those emotions about your husband, you have the child with him, maybe it's not a time for you to go out. Maybe that it, you know. But when Ehi came to say hello to you, you say, Ehi, what were you doing in my husband's house? But then it's a question that you cannot ask because there were 100 other people in his house, in the house that you left. So did he give you compensation to get another place? Then it's no longer your place. It's a place that you once lived in. So she has to get her emotions together, unless she's going to keep on bringing up stuff that happened during her marriage, or get over your marriage, or have therapy about this marriage that you hold on to. It's very sad because I still focus on the oko, on the husband, on the men, the mentality that you can just rubbish your wife like that she has loved you, that she's, you know, had children with you. I also understand that it's difficult to go back into the clique, into the society, and then get married again. It's almost like a death sentence for the woman, and the husband, the man can go on living his life. You can imagine throwing a party. It's like multiple knives to the wound, and you don't know who to attack. So I think she was just attacking. And when she hears it out loud, Caroline, maybe you need to heal. Maybe some way, somehow, you need to heal. All of these women are not your enemy. Your husband started this party. And when I say the whole cheating, the shebang and everything, you wanted to stay married. He clearly did not. You had not been out of it was not even cold. Your bed was not even cold when he was having a party. It might not have been Dabota. It could have been somebody else, and it would have been somebody else. You can't continue fighting these women.
Because I totally agree with you.
Dabota was very cool. She was like, Caroline, you also slept with my husband. Do I believe it? No, I do not. I don't think Caroline did, but I think Dabota was just, you know, shooting daggers. You want to accuse me? I can easily accuse you too, chick. I can on this chair. I can accuse you. I've been over this man. I have a daughter. I got to move on. It's on you. But me, I'm going to move on. The attitude of the woman showed strength and tenacity and survival, a will to survive in a society that tells them this is the death for you. Dabota said, She got her beauty brand. She's doing her own thing, woo, woo, woo. And that was that. Caroline, I think, is in her feelings over this man.
And for me, I agree with you. And that was just my disappointment about Caroline this season because, you know, she wasn't there in season 2. And then, boom, she makes a massive comeback in this new season. The episode where she was reintroduced, everybody was excited because they were like, oh my God, she's coming back with vengeance, with a banger. And I was really looking forward to seeing how she was going to retell her story about what exactly had happened during season 1, the things that people did not see, because she got a lot of backlash as well. And then season 2, what was the reason for your absence? But instead, she came in season 3 and she made her ex an entire storyline. And the worst of it all was that she would have built a punchline from what Dabota did at her beach resort. You know, that whole situation of, did you communicate? Did you not communicate? That was a massive storyline where I expected that Dabota could have, or rather Caroline could have picked up a storyline from another storyline to complement whatever she was coming back with. Was, you see that scene where Dabota was, you know, reprimanding Sophia for ruining her plans with her boat.
Yes, and then that was where Mariam was trying to reprimand Deola.
Yeah, and then Dabota said, Caroline, get your friend. For me, I felt like that was very offensive, you know, because we know what it connotes over here. When you tell somebody, hold your friend, it's like you're saying birds of the same feathers, get your badly behaved person. So I was expecting Caroline to build up something from there, and then whatever. I felt like there would have been more drama that was relatable to the viewers. But instead, that whole thing just switched up to what happened 8 years ago, my husband, this, my ex-husband. I felt like she just used her hand to just ruin that pleasant surprise of seeing her come back in a new
Yes,
season. And I think the
yes,
last time we had a conversation, I told you that Dabota actually did a lot of mess ups this season, but Caroline was unknowingly cleaning up Dabota's mess ups for her. So she completely made Dabota look blameless.
yes, yes.
The saint, the victim of it all, the one that has no stain on her white. And it was just so bad for her.
It's unfortunate again, like I said, because I think Caroline is a lovely girl. I think she
Mm-hmm.
really is a lovely girl. She's very beautiful. I think that there's a lot going for her. Again, I think that, I have friends. I have friends who got married really, really young, and the marriage and is a divorce now, and they lost themselves. They didn't know how to come up out of that and forge through. I get it. And so,
Mm.
because of that, it's a death. It really is a death. It's a death of everything that they hoped for. And it's
Yes.
almost as if you have to start climbing back on a bicycle and learn how to find your way again. So,
Mm.
it's a trigger. This is a trigger. That is a trigger, because Caroline, I think herself also, maybe she took the year off because it was just too much from everywhere. And her biggest and most concern was her man. Because you're right. You actually are right. Season one, she had it out with Laura in relation to her marriage and how Laura's sister had her in the blogs. Do you see how it's marriage related, not man
Mm.
related? Marriage related. She's a beautiful woman. She could have dated anybody else, somebody else, but I don't think she was in that mind space to do it. And she's still really, really hurt, above angry. And I think that she's just lashing out. She doesn't know,
Mm.
you know? So
Mm.
it kind of hung in the air. There was no settlement as far as I'm concerned. And then we kind of moved on from Laura.
Yeah. Hey. Oh man. Auntie Fumi, Laura.
Laura,
Anyway, we're here for
Laura
you.
was hoping to smile through the season. It didn't work.
He
She
didn't.
was hoping to smile to say, I no get matter for this side. She wanted to say, I'm not involved at all. Nothing concern me here. Just, focus on the matter, just overlook it, just this or whatever. She was trying so hard, but it did not
Mm.
work. It did not work. Take the floor, my darling.
Auntie Fumi. No, for real, yeah, for real. I'm gonna be honest here. You see, Laura, the character, let me put it as a character, right? The on-screen character she came with this season, I kind of liked it because I mean her store is in Lekki phase one. So
Mm.
it's hard to miss. It's on the road, right?
Wow.
Very, yeah, very choicey location. So
Yes.
Laura, I think, came with this very strong motive to really push her business, to really push her
Okay.
business. Yeah, and to gather, like to get more, create more friendships for people that can patronize her business. Because Laura's things, like her products, what she sells, it's a bit pricey, right?
Ah,
And you can tell that she
she's
has,
trying to be the African Sephora, because I know she carries Fenty,
yes,
she carries so many other
yes,
brands in the store
it's
as well as her
huge.
brand.
Exactly, it's huge. And then she's got her hair brand that she launched, and it's really pricey. So every time I see Laura move this season, I just laugh because all I see is a businesswoman that just wants to make money. Like Laura came to leverage on this platform this season to make money, to push, and she was doing it. She was doing it, and you see, when I say I was disappointed with the way the part two of the reunion went, I was really expecting the host to ask her what she meant by,
Yeah,
oh, if
yeah, yeah,
Mariam needs support, Mariam should come and talk to me. That was
yeah.
the business Laura speaking. And I felt like that
Yes,
was really profound. And it would have
yes,
been something that would have created some drama around that
Yes,
conversation between Mariam and
100%.
Laura. But then it
Yes,
was not raised. So I really applaud Laura this season. She came, she made her money on camera, off camera, but it cannot be overlooked that Mariam was also, rather, Laura was also an instigator.
yes,
She was the
big
one that
time.
went to go and tell Dabota that, oh, Caroline has been saying all those things about you. Like, you went to go and confront Dabota about your own issue. You ended up clearing your name from all that, rumor, and then to now form a friendship. Remember, Dabota is in the makeup business. Diadem is in the makeup business. If there's anybody that Laura would want to really align with this season, it's those two girls. It's
100%.
business.
Especially Diola.
Exactly. It's business. So for
Yeah,
Laura came with that business mindset of, I'm not going to be on Caroline's side because, to be honest, there's nothing Caroline does that
doesn't benefit me.
connects with what Laura does. There's
Yes.
nothing that Sophia or even Mariam does. That's why she picked a side instantly. The moment she snitched on Caroline, that was Laura picking a side instantly. Nah, so for me, I must admit, I really applaud her. She came with a strategy,
Ah,
business, relationships, and
yes.
getting the bag, and that was what she did.
I'm not mad at her. I am not mad
Mhm.
at her because I think that she got so badly burnt the first season that she said, you know what?
Yeah.
I will make sure that I get some kind of return. On top of which, even though I'm telling you, even though Caroline apologized, she also enjoyed the sweet irony that here Caroline now was being accused of sleeping with somebody else's husband. See how it
Yes.
feels. So she was just there smiling because I was just looking at them. Everybody was just looking to say, aha, you see, I know she just sat down there. She was so satisfied and content. Moving along to Mariam, I did not
Hmm.
know that Laura now, very, very dicey. She said, Mariam, I'm not afraid of you. I will direct you. She made a very saucy comment onto her Instagram. Oh, well, we didn't finish because Caroline sent a long text
Oh my
to
God.
Laura to say, Laura, when I see you next, you're going to get it. I didn't
Nah,
understand. What's with the threats? When you really
nah,
cannot
that
do
was
it.
low.
I mean, there was no point. Oh, you said this, you said that. When she smiled in your face, Laura didn't seem to care. Laura said, I said, leave them in their matter and don't this thing. And I do remember that when it came to herself and Sophia. Sophia came to her in the swimming pool in Ghana. And that was where Laura said, I like Caroline, you understand me, two of us has settled our differences or whatever. Try and, settle yours with her. I do
Oh yeah, that
remember
was
that
Deola.
moment. Do you
Hmm.
remember? So
Hmm.
I don't even, again, you know what, you're right. I think Laura had an advantage. She set out to say, let me come and sell my business. Let me
Mm-hmm.
have my store out there and let me come and make this coin. Unlike Sophia that I saw at Iyabo Ojo's daughter's wedding.
Hmm.
Sophia's daughter was a flower girl at Priscilla and Juma's wedding. So I
Mm-hmm.
saw her there. And Sophia has just been blasé because, again, Dabota and the boat, and the boat and whose boat and this boat. And let us finish with the boat. And I want to apologize, this, that, and the third. But, Sophia was like, at the end of the day, I looked into Dabota for the receipts in relation to Carolyn. And Carolyn updated everybody, but Dabota was still specific on time restraints, and I understood that. Mariam's own thingy, I did not know that Mariam and Laura had a little shebang. And Laura went out to talk about, Mariam, something, 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 and she put it on her Instagram. So Mariam was like, sis, my comeback was greater than yours. And Laura was like, I'm not afraid of you. I'm not afraid of you. You hurt me. I refer to you, And then she was like, no, who can I say said that? No, Sophia won't say that. Maybe Deola. I said,
Nah,
Laura,
those
you're making
those
this worse. Laura, you're making this worse for yourself. And it was just like a
hmm.
shouting match. I think the only thing that I really enjoyed from the whole shebang was Deola said, wait 1 minute. She got up and she went to focus herself on Mariam and called it a day. That was it. She said, you know what? I'm not that kind of fighting person. So let me go, which was in part two. But sorry, part one. But the part two, first and foremost, to be honest, I missed Tiana. I miss Choma. I miss Iyabo. I miss Faith. Those four were the divas. What they brought in this season, it was forced a little bit. There has to be a big fight. There has to be a big, woo-ha. And there wasn't. It was about ex-husbands that were not even on the show. And if anything at all, I thought that maybe we'll see a smidget of Davido drama. Sophia, I'm almost certain now, pumped the brakes on that and said, we're not doing that. If you bring him up, I'm not doing the show, because nothing came, not one sentence, nada. And yet when they introduced season 3, they kept on introducing Sophia as Davido's, baby mama. So we thought, okay, there's going to be something here, but it was drab. And I wish that this should be aired on a global platform. They have fans all over the world. And for it only to be sectioned off to Africa was a shortchanged for the entire cast. They deserve to make their money. To do a reality show, but you see how many hours it takes for you, to get ready just to do an episode. How much time and days and weeks and months out of your life, that you don't want to film in your house, you don't want family, friends, you got other things to do, you got to drop off your children, all of that. They dedicated that to this show, and I don't think they got the reward. And you're right, maybe because Laura, you see, there's a saying, you play fool to catch wise. Laura has done this 3 times now. So she said, season 3, I'll come and sell my business. And that's what she did, because so many of the girls didn't have it. They left empty-handed.
True. I see what you mean, Auntie Fumi. With what's her name now? Caroline. Let me start with Caroline, as you
Please.
mentioned, that
Yes,
long message that she sent to Laura. I was quite disappointed because season 1, she got violent, just as Laura got violent with her first. Season 3, she's back. As I mentioned before, we really wanted to see the new rebranded Caroline, but instead she came and getting all violent with Dabota. That was weird enough. And then sending that threat to Laura. I'll repeat what I said the last time we spoke, on your channel, that when you react violently, it completely erases the offense of the offender.
Yes.
So Laura, indeed, right? Whether the ladies accept it or not, Laura probably did something to Caroline. Caroline saying, no, she was, pitting me against people, and people telling people things against me. There's a possibility that happened. I'm not sure, but there's a possibility it happened. But the moment you send a threat, people no longer focus on what was said. People focus on how you reacted. And that's the reason why you need to manage your emotions, your reactions, because if you know how they do it in Real Housewives of Atlanta, if any of the housewives decide that, okay, you threatened me, I'm going to sue you, that is evidence that, yes, you indeed threatened this person. So 100%. I mentioned on my video that Caroline needs to learn how to give comebacks without putting violent connotations. You can snap at someone without putting anything incriminating there. Then for Laura, oh my God. Laura, as I said before, she came, played the role of an instigator. However, where I faulted Laura, where she was having the back and forth with Mariam, was her saying, oh, you cannot say that to me. How can you say that to me? She was referring to Mariam's confessional, where Mariam was offended at Laura referring to the insult Faith Murray, rained on her in season 2. And then Mariam had said in that confessional that, oh, what if I bring back what Caroline said about you, that you were getting pimped? So at the reunion, Laura was getting offended, like, oh, if you were upset, why didn't you come and talk to me? Why would you say that to me? So that's like Laura, for the second or third time, trying to dictate how another housewife should react to her
Yes, that is
provocation.
true. That is
You
true.
do not,
That is true.
yeah, you do not
Yeah.
dictate how people choose to react when
No.
you trigger them, when you provoke them. Mariam did
Yeah.
this thing to Carol, Laura did this to Caroline in season one. You know, you said something about her, and then she said, okay, you were getting pimped, and then you carried that beef till even season three. So you are always constantly trying to dictate to everybody around you how they should feel, how they should react when you freely open your mouth and say things to them and you laugh. And Mariam was totally right when she said that when Laura throws shade, it goes really hard. But then when people react, she's blaming them and she picks offense and then she's very, she's very angry. So I think on that, Laura needs to learn that, listen, you need to learn that you cannot dictate. And we're not saying that if people decide to react in a violent manner, it's right. It's not right. But you need to also take accountability for how you address people. And
100%.
yeah, and then also, you mentioned that you miss Tiana, you miss the old cast members. To be honest, Auntie Fumi, I think the only thing I miss about the old cast members is that the drama happened. They did not drag us to things that happened 8, 10 years ago. We did not
Yeah.
dwell on their past.
Yeah.
So the drama that was happening in season two, it was happening in each episode. We were witnessing it. The only
Yes.
people that kind of almost dragged us to a year back was Faith and Dr. Romel, and they were
Yes.
able to argue it out on the show, and we were
Yeah.
a part of it. We experienced it. So
Yes.
I felt like production has a fault in how this season panned out. I felt like they did not create boundaries on the extent to which these housewives could take us back to issues that
Yeah.
happened in their past. I'm
Correct.
thinking, moving forward, any drama that pans beyond 3 years ago, let it
Yes.
die in the past. Don't
Yes.
drag us, the viewers, into your mess. Go and handle it yourself. Because in this season, we were trying to connect the dots of the issue between Dabota and Caroline 8 years ago. And so we lost out on a lot of the issues that were happening in the present, meaning in season three. So I think
100%.
production have lost it. This is my opinion. I watched
Yes.
season one, I enjoyed it. I watched season two, I enjoyed it. Season three, I don't know if they mixed up people in charge of the storyline, the plot, people
Yeah.
in charge of the script. I don't know what happened. Did they change staff? But I think they've lost it and they need to come back or maybe go back to the drawing board and get it right again.
Yeah. I agree. I absolutely agree in everything that you said. Again, like I said, perhaps they didn't have much of a storyline. So they had
Yeah.
to go to the back. And that's the issue. Get vibrant, exciting people on the show because
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
something will kick off. But there was nothing to there was
Mm-hmm.
just really there just really wasn't. And this guessing game of what
Yeah.
happened. After a while, it becomes very predictable. It becomes a little bit boring. We're not really sure what's going
Mm-hmm.
on. That was because the big thing for this season was Mariam and Dabota, the marriage boyfriend scenario, and then the boat with Sophia. Really,
Yeah.
that was because Mariam was in America.
Mm-hmm.
She was in America most of the
Most
time,
of
so
the
she was coming
time.
back fresh. She was coming back fresh. Like, what's
Mhm.
going on? What did I miss?
Yeah. She's
you know,
not missing
that's
on
it.
what's happening.
Exactly. She just didn't care. So, I think for me is that the first season was really exciting. I
Mm.
want that kind of jazz. Perhaps maybe not even the same girls, okay, but at least let it be, interesting. Bring the girls something. And I just
Mm-hmm.
felt it wasn't enough. I just felt it
Yeah,
wasn't
it
enough. And
wasn't.
they have to bring a female host. Bring a different host for the reunion. 1,000,000,000%.
And for me, I agree with you 100%. And I also think, you see, yeah, that's why I always say I'm not sure because I'm not sure. I don't know what's happening
Yes.
behind the scenes. But I understand that, fine, an episode is supposed to air for a maximum of 55 or 58 minutes, right?
Yes.
Of the show. And then
Yeah.
the reunion, if you notice, each part airs for a maximum of, I don't think it airs up to 1 hour. If you take out all the ads, it's not even up to 1 hour.
Ah,
Yeah, because on African Magic,
it was
there are a lot
quick.
of ads from time to
Yes.
time from to time. So if you remove all the time for the ads, it's probably a
Yes.
45 minutes reunion show. Then on Showmax, if you check it out, it's probably that 45 minutes. So it's like, I understand they need to make money, right? And so they need to insert ad breaks here and there, here and there.
Yeah.
So when you now
Yeah.
watch the entirety of the reunion, it's not even enough. And that's the reason I said that the production team, they have a lot of work to do, because I do not 100% think that the host is the one that is in charge of the questions they carry on the card.
Aha.
I
Yes.
I want to
Yes.
believe that, yeah, I want to believe
Yes.
that there's someone that is in charge of the direction
You wait
of the
for
reunion
somebody.
show.
Yeah.
There,
Yeah.
yeah. So there are probably things that they need to be resolved, or things they need the host to do. So maybe the host is just there to just read the questions and follow the direction of the
Of
conversation,
course.
So
Of course.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
Of course. And just keep it
you
calm.
might be the host. Yeah, you might be the host, and you find out that they give you instructions that, oh, stay on this question, don't ask
And that's it.
XYZ,
100%.
and that's
And
it.
and
Yeah,
that's
there's
what,
nothing
and
you can do.
perhaps from there you can lead to something else. Also, they
Exactly.
might cap it and say, this is your timeout. You have to move on from here. That's absolutely
Exactly.
true. Oh wow.
Exactly. And also, what you also
Oh
rightly
wow.
mentioned, the host
Oh yes.
also watching the show. You need to watch the show. You need to really understand
Yes.
the dynamics of these cast members. Some of them are very, very snaky, manipulative.
Yeah.
Some of them are very, very, they are very, very cunning. You need to match their cunningness for your cunningness as well.
And be very savvy.
So follow up questions.
Huh.
Exactly. Follow up questions. But at the
Yes.
end of the day, as I said, I think it still boils down on what production aims to achieve with every episode of the reunion.
Yes.
Because remember, they might shoot for 3 hours, and when they edit it, it's what we see that comes out of it.
Yeah. Yeah. And we and that's what I do too. I do shows and I can cut it back, make it absolutely 1,000,000,000%.
Hmm.
So do we have some glory queens? Do we have some fulmination that would like to jump up onto the stage and speak? Let me go. Oh, we've got a lot out here today. I'm so excited.
Nice.
Hello, everyone. Fumi, how are you? My two favorite people. Same here. Hello, 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 hello. I love you. Fantastic husband. And Adrian and Ula send you big, 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 big hugs. Where can I watch? That's it, Glory. You're looking beautiful. Isn't she just? I just live for her.
Thank you so much.
Gloria, we collab. We never knew we needed. I know, baby. I know. Yes, Carolyn wears her heart on her sleeve. She loves easily, and that's not so good. Bless her heart. Oh, what a shame. Exactly. I think that Caroline should have shielded her marriage life the way Sophia never brought it up for the video. It should have always taken the spotlight. Exactly. Laura was boring this season, honestly. It's the real Housewives of Lagos, not the real business of women of Lagos. Wait, who wrote that? Dorothy Kelton. Very direct. I like her. Dorothy. Love, love, love. Ladies, let me know if you want to come on, okay, so that we can hear your view. Dabota did nothing. Okay, my darling, I can see from where you're coming. Laura makes it seem like we didn't have foreign makeup brands in Nigeria before she opened her shop. Wait, who wrote that? A
I,
woman. A woman was very direct. I like that Sophia didn't bring up Davido. Okay. Dorothy Kelton, again, she says, no, we didn't need that. She's dating a very, very, very rich man. No need to mention Davido. And it is very true. Because she said, which I won't take poor man do. That was Sophia. I said, Sophia, I said, I wish you all the best of luck, Mama. So I think she's comfortable. Maybe, and you know, that could be true. Maybe she's dating
Yeah.
somebody else. So she's like, you know what? The past is in the past. Please let me move on. I say, okay. Laura
Mm-hmm.
first accused Caroline in season 1 that Caroline gave her back, and she got offended. And same thing happened with Mariam. Yep, tit for tat. I do believe. So true. The drama this season was outside, not inside the show. True, true, true. I don't miss the old cast at all. La 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 la. Choma, Yabo, Tanya, Romel were all toxic. I only miss Toyin and Faith Maury. Okay, maybe they should go for normal women in Lagos, not celebrities. It might give us a different perspective and fresh stories. Also, pick women that are close, that will make the drama genuine.
Mm.
Okay, that's also a good point. I love Real Housewives of Abuja. They should bring back that mess. Did you ever review Real Housewives of Abuja? Was it good? I didn't even
I
know you
did.
were. Was
I
it
did.
good? It was a hot
It
mess.
was a bang. It was crazy. It was a mess. It was really a mess.
Wow, wow. Oh, no, I reviewed it. 1 or 2 episodes. I remember. I
Oh,
reviewed it. There
okay.
was a lady there with blonde hair or something like that. I think so. I do remember.
Yes, yes.
Yes. I don't miss the old cast members. That's Asma. Asma said no, she don't. Okay, Mama. I nominate Glory as a host. I nominate you. I really do. But you know, Glory, you and I talked about this. I
Yeah.
nominate you. Exactly, Auntie Fumi. Everybody just wanted peace. New host and more women must be. Must we have just 6? We can have 8. Okay, that's true. It's
Yeah.
about 38 minutes. I don't think production likes Caroline though. What were those tweets they read? Ah, I didn't think
Mm.
much about it, you know, my love. I didn't. Dorothy, you want to come up? Let me know, Mama, and I will do I send how do I bring somebody on to
Okay, you have to
um
put the link of the live stream in the comment section. They will click on it and then they will join.
okay, so it says present an invite. So invite
Yeah.
guest, is that what I do? Go to invite guest. I
So
don't know
you-
how to do this.
Okay, so you can just copy. Let me try and do that. You can just copy the link and paste it in the comment section, and
Oh
they will
yes,
click
I
on
got
it
it.
and they can join.
Copied,
Yeah.
and then I will paste it right here.
Yes.
Oh, I'm learning every day. This was quite fabulous. Oh yes, I've sent it. Yes.
Nice.
And then should I pin it?
Nice.
No,
Yes,
just
yes, you
leave
can
it.
pin it.
No, it doesn't. It just says
Oh,
delete
nice.
comment, push user in timeout, ban user. Nope, nothing like that. Let me
Yeah.
see.
So you can keep on posting the link so that anybody that
Okay,
misses it can click
all
on
right.
it.
So guys, come on, so we can hear what you have to say, my loves. Okay,
Yes.
and I've posted it
Guys,
again
come
for
on,
you.
come on.
Yeah, come on. Don't be
Guys, come
shy.
on,
And
it's your
and
mind.
also you can come as audio. You don't have to show your face. You can click
Yes.
on it and then it can tell you the link is on already. Oh, that's lovely. Thank you,
Mhm.
Erica.
Yes.
There you go. So we'll give you some time to come
Yeah.
on. You know, don't be shy. Da, da,
Oh
da,
yeah, and
da.
for me, whilst we are waiting for people to come on, I wanted
Yes.
to ask your opinion.
Uh,
The end of the reunion when Sophia said that she was going to invite the ladies to her house and she wants them to see her house. The boat remains abode, talking about the women extending grace to others, especially those that have had scandals on the blogs. I personally felt like that was unnecessary. You don't have to prove anything to anybody. Like, who are you trying to prove anything to? At the end of the day, you could still bring people to your house and you are even exposing yourself more to other things that they could use for drama in the
and
next
work
season.
against
But
you.
but what do you think about that?
It was unnecessary. For me, you
Hmm.
have to change the thumbnail on the Shannon video. It's the wrong girl and she's getting bullied for no reason. Okay, my darling, I absolutely will. But that was what they gave to me. So I'll give it to my production team to change it. Thank you, my darling Lisa. That's it. I think that there's no reason to invite anybody to your home. It's
Mm-hmm.
unnecessary. It
Yeah.
doesn't prove anything. The boat matter is done. We don't care. I don't care.
Mm,
How about that? I don't care about the boat. The boat is over and out. The boat is
mhm,
over and out. Um, what you should do is send Dabota her gift. That's what you should do. Start there. Start there, because I know the host said, has Dabota gotten her dress? And you were saying, oh, that Dabota hasn't sent the measurements. Insist on getting the measurements and send her her dress. You don't need people to come to your house to say, this is my boot. People will still say that you hired the boot, rented the boot for it to sit there. People that want to think a certain way about you will think a certain way about you. And because there are people that will lie on you even though you're telling the truth. And there are people that will lie for you knowing that you're telling lies. Do you know what I mean? It's
mhm.
a lose-lose.
Yes,
Just move on with it and go on with it. There's no need to bother yourself about any of that. Not at all. Not at all.
absolutely,
That's the way I
absolutely.
look at
I,
it.
I
So what?
honestly, I just feel like Sophia does not
Yes,
need to validate anything anymore. You know,
absolutely not.
anything that anybody wants to believe. And this is not just about the boat situation. I think, because of the talk about, oh, I'm dating somebody rich, rich, I think she's
Yes.
kind of also trying to prove that indeed I have a rich, rich boyfriend now. And I'm thinking, to be honest, there's no point. Why are you trying to prove anything? There's no point.
Chloe, you know what I've come to learn over time?
Mm,
There are some people, men and women, as a matter of fact, who really hold material things to their heart.
mm,
It's part of their identity. If they don't
yeah.
have a certain status, they feel personally, not anybody imposing on them, a sense of inadequacy. I think
Mm,
for Sophia, having had a relationship and a child with Davido, she's still trying to show, I'm still spending money. I still got it.
mm,
I can get another rich husband. Perhaps that was why
mm,
she said, which I won't use poor man do. As if to say, Davido
mm.
can go, there's another one coming. I have this, I have that, and this, that. Whereas, and I've seen this where I have the most wonderful friends. Oh, hello, baby. How are you? Okay, let's bring you up. Let's add you to the stage. Hi, sugar.
Nice.
I've been such a fan for so long, I don't know how to properly address you, hence why I'm quiet. How
Oh,
should I
please
address you?
don't. Oh, please don't. Please go ahead. Where are you from? What's your name?
My name is Lisa. Hi.
Hi, Lisa.
I'm a faithful watcher of your content, Mrs. Desalu-Vold.
Fumi, just call me Fumi. Just call me Fumi. It's fine.
Also, very nice to meet you, frankly speaking, with Glory,
Yes.
Elijah.
Nice to meet you
Uh,
too. Thank
I
you.
am currently residing just outside of Washington, D.C.
Wow. What time is it there?
It is 10, well, almost 5 minutes to 3 p.m.
Fantastic. Oh, we're
Yeah,
so happy, Lisa, you're here. You're so happy. Thank
thank you.
you very much. Oh, I hope you come often. Please, 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 please do. I hope you come often. So do you watch The Real Housewives of Lagos?
Like an addict.
Oh my God. How
All
do you
three
get to
seasons.
watch it from Washington?
Well, to be honest with you, I have a Fire Stick, so I'm able to, I'm able to get links. Listen, I'm all about anything African. My husband and I travel throughout Africa, and we vlog about it. So I love Africa. I love the
Wow.
continent. I've been to Nigeria. I attended a wonderful wedding in Abuja in 2022. So I can't get enough of the
Wow.
Nigerian culture, of just African culture in general. My family is also from Eritrea, which is on the other side of the
Yes,
continent, the
yes,
Horn of
yes,
Africa.
yes, yes.
So
Beautiful people too.
thank you. Well, so are Nigerians. I mean, the food, no one does a wedding, by the way, like Nigerians. I just have to say before we speak
No
about the
one.
Real Housewives of Lagos, your review of the wedding, Priscilla's wedding.
Yes.
I don't know if anyone does a bigger wedding than Nigerians. Even East Indians might not do it as big as Nigerians.
No,
And they rank pretty
Nigerians,
high. They rank pretty high. East
no.
Indians are very serious about their weddings.
You know, I will say this here. I felt that I was in tears. You know why? I think because being a Nigerian, having married a foreigner, and when I say foreigner, just somebody outside of Nigeria, and Nigerians marry all over the world. I think that Yabo did it so big to let Juma know that these were her people, you know, that these were her people. And it's a little bit frightening. Your only daughter that lives with you is going to be in another country where she will not speak the language. We have another beautiful girl, Asma. Come on ahead, Mama. Hello, baby girl. How are you?
Glory brought me here. Glory brought me here. I.
What is your name, my darling?
My name is Asmao.
Asma, God bless you. I'm so happy to
Thank
see
you
you.
very much. Thank you so much. So good to have
Glory,
you to be
look
here.
at Lisa. This is a joy to have you here, my darling.
And
Welcome,
I'm
welcome,
so
welcome.
honored to meet you virtually, Auntie Fumi.
I
You're
love
just
it.
the
I love it.
you're the VVIP. Thank you so much.
I love it. It's all to Glory, you know. Glory was the one said, Fumi, come on, you
Yeah.
know, do something different out here. When we finish reviewing, we have to bring in Fumi Nation member families. We have to bring the Glory Queens and we have to sit and chat with them. And I thought, why did I not think of this? So I was ready. When I tell you, I had my bath, I combed out my afro again. I just put some makeup. I said, let me come out here. This is the part that I enjoy because I get to
Yeah.
see you. It's a very lonely life being, you know, a reporter on your own. Glory, you know, because we're here with the camera and we have to have all the jokes and the laughing and all of that. So it's wonderful to see you, my darlings. And as I was
Thank
saying that,
you.
you know, Iyabo's wedding, I think, being a single mom, to have really pushed all the way through to see, you know, Prissy to the finish line and that she's going, you know, to another country. I think she wanted Juma to know these are her people. I might not have had my husband, of which he was there. Look at all of my aburus. Look at my brothers. They all really showed up and showed out for Yabo. And Yabo in turn did it for Priscilla. And Priscilla was the most beautiful bride. She was the most beautiful, the most grateful. Her father was there because that was what my parents did. And after the wedding, they drove about 20 cars in unison to the airport, you know, to wish me and send me off because I was going to Norway, you know, and my father was
Wow.
just crying, you know. He said, because that's it, you know, and he said, I don't know how to say goodbye. And I think about it now with my own son. How do you say goodbye to the child that you love, that you raised, that you did all of this? And so Nigerians are diplomats. They are all over the world, you know. And I think the wedding was elaborate because it was a goodbye. It was a goodbye for her. She was letting go of a very precious part of her. But anyway, I've
That's
spoken too much. Ladies, please take the floor.
okay. Glory, I don't know if so far the cut and join you have sort of understood what happened between Caroline and Dabota. Have you understood it? Somehow I have put one or two pieces together. Like, this is it. Caroline genuinely, like, she said there was something she said in the reunion that she and Dabota are married to the same kind of men, older rich men, right?
Mhm.
So when Dabota started having issues, Caroline reached out to her, this is my fellow sister, and these are ladies that got married very early, right?
Mm.
Now, the aspect where Caroline saw Dabota, which is fine, like in season 1, you remember between Choma and Laura, where Laura said Choma was her friend, and Choma said that Laura is just an acquaintance. So it was a similar situation like that, where Caroline in her head, feeling that she was there for Dabota and all that, and they've established a friendship, plus the fact that Dabota was coming to her salon, she called her during when she was having a project and all of that. So in her head, she thought they had developed a relationship. That is one. But on Dabota's part, no, Dabota has her own clique, she has her own cycle, and I don't think she was interested in bringing Caroline into it. Meanwhile, there was something Caroline said, that they shot a movie at Ehi's house. She said that was the first time she met Ehi. That they shot a movie at Ehi's house. After a while, she and Ehi, they were communicating, and Ehi told her that they stole her jewelries. Then she was now giving Ehi advice on what to do, that she too she has been in that situation before. Then fast forward to later, she in her head, she felt that she and Ehi, they are cool. Then fast forward to later, a job came up for Caroline, and Ehi was saying she shouldn't be given. Why? So Caroline unfortunately took these women at high esteem, but these women didn't do, like, they just looked at her like, frankly speaking, our Nigerian language, she never reach. That kind of thing. Yeah. And unfortunately, Caroline is, if you look at Caroline is an emotional person. When she loves with all her heart. And here's the reason why when you offend her, it's almost looking like she's finding it difficult to forgive you, because her love is also similar to her hatred.
Yes.
You get. So at the end of the day, they came and they're trying to gaslight her. See, I believe Caroline 100%. Forget not being a fan or anything, but I believe her 100%. And because she's too emotional, the production seems to be exploiting the emotional side of her for drama. And people are saying she's bipolar, she's this. No, she knows what she's saying. And to tell you that she took Dabota very serious, you can see she has the stamps of how she and Dabota have met. But Dabota is claiming that she has met her just twice. And if you look at it, it's not like Dabota really wanted to have any relationship with Caroline, but the fact that she heard that Caroline helped in a certain situation, that was why she reached out to Caroline to tell her thank you. But if you look at it, I don't think so Dabota really cares that much about Caroline. So Caroline meeting her on the set of Real Housewives and trying to be like close to her. Unfortunately for Dabota, she now went to bring Ehi, which of course that's her own main person, and flashed it at Caroline, and it became a trigger for Caroline. Do you understand?
Yes.
So I think that is the reason why all of those drama like that came out in a very critical condition.
So why didn't Caroline just tell Ehi, you know what? Why did you cut my money? Why did you take money from my mouth? Why did you do that? Why would you just say hello when she heard this? Because it was them say. So when she saw Ehi inside Dabota's house, why didn't you just address it one time? Especially
no, but it will be somehow. But it will be somehow. It will look like she came to Dabota. That's the first time she was visiting Dabota, and then she will not attack Dabota's friend. It will be somehow. That's the first time
I came to see Dabota. Dabota agreed. Dabota knew I was coming. Dabota was to come to my house. At the last minute, she said that she couldn't come because she sprained her ankle. If I'm feeling bad, and you are very correct. Caroline is very emotional and she's very sincere. So she felt that she said, you know what, don't worry. Let me come and visit you. So Dabota should have said, he's here. Instead,
no, but probably Dabota doesn't know that Ehi and Caroline has anything like that. She doesn't. Dabota was. She didn't know. She didn't know.
Did not know. So
she did not know.
Not to repeat itself, address Ehi. Ehi, you're here. Oh, well, I didn't mean to address this now, but I have to. Ehi, I heard that you tried to block me from a job. Not cool. This is Dabota's place. We'll see each other. It's all about how you just handle the situation. It doesn't have to be ghostbusters. If you have a certain strong command of expressing yourself, not even necessarily English. Ehi, now wow, long time no see. Now wow, now you come here for street, say, now you come carry a money from my mouth. You and I have to discuss. You know, say we did Dabota house. Next time, Sha, we will discuss. But no, say I get one condition with you. I get one bone of contention with you. That's it.
You know, in as much as they tell us the reality show, but last, it's almost like staged. It's almost like a movie. You know, they are filming. So I don't think it was going to be that easy for Caroline to talk to Ehi while they are filming.
Okay.
Ehi is not part of the cast member. Ehi is not part of the cast.
And
he's not part. So
money in that.
Exactly. And it's possible Ehi didn't even know that Caroline has heard what she said. You know, women now, we gossip a lot. You know, some back conversations good. So it's possible Ehi didn't even know Caroline knew about that. And that's when the basketball started online. And Caroline started saying some certain things. If you notice, Ehi quickly withdrew from the basketballs that was happening online, because she now realized that there were some things she said about Caroline, and it's like that's gotten to Caroline's ear. You see, one thing with Nigeria, it looks big, but at the same time it's small. Virtually everybody knows everybody. So when you say certain things in a cycle, you have to be careful. It will just find its way back to the ear of the person that you were gossiping about.
Right.
So what you can say, yes, that's what you can say to somebody's face. Don't say it behind their back.
No, don't try it. Don't try it. Lisa, please tell us what you think. I would love to hear your opinion here.
So I picked up something yesterday whilst watching the review that you did on Priscilla's wedding, which was you missed some of the old cast members, i.e. Priscilla's mom and Chioma, and you sort of let it slip that the season of Lagos this year was boring. Real Housewives of Lagos.
Yes, yes.
And to be honest with you, I agree with you entirely. Having watched all 3 seasons and
Yes.
getting to the end of this season, I really think it's time for a shakeup.
I
agree with
I do.
I really think that it wasn't as engaging. Although, you know, the women were all successful and that was all the fashion was amazing. The women were beautiful. They're very successful and independent.
Yes.
Some of those dramas, some of the incidents that you guys are recapping right now,
Yes.
they are, to me, they weren't compelling enough to make me excited about a season 4. I want to see not only more business collaborations between these women, I would like to see more of their personal lives. Not because I'm nosy. Well, maybe I am nosy. Maybe that's why I consume reality TV. We didn't see Dabota's partner. We didn't see who Caroline is dating. All of these women profess to be in love and in relationships, apart from Sophia, who said she's in a new relationship, right? That's very new, but she was dating that person already for 1.5 years. None of them brought any of their partners on. We didn't see a lot of them interacting with their children or their partners. And to me, I wanted to see more of their interactions. I felt like we were given a lot of drama that was superficial throughout the season. And they didn't do a great job in editing even what transpired during was the fight in Ghana or was it at the beach when they went away overnight?
There was a quarrel at the beach with Dabota.
But remember, the physical altercation. Where was the physical
altercation? In Ghana.
It was in Ghana. That's right. When Sophia was hosting. For instance, the editing of that was not done well. Although I appreciate that you and Glory had recapped it and you gave us more insight than what was presented, to be honest with you. So as a person who's living in the West, but who loves Africa, whose origins are from Africa, and who wants to not only support, but consume African products and content, I would love to see a shakeup. I think it's time to do like a Real Housewives of New York or Atlanta type shakeup in Lagos. I missed Chioma very much this season. Even she showed us the gentleman that she was dating last year, although I don't think he's a good catch for her, to be honest, but that's neither here nor there. Do you remember when they went horseback riding? I didn't feel like he was a good catch, but she at least gave us a glimpse into her life. Even the designer who left from last year, the one that you did a podcast with, Fumi, what was her name?
Tiana.
Yes, she even, although her husband chose not to show his face, she was great about showing us more of her personal lives. I think for this show to really elevate, for it to pull in more people from the West. And also to really put Nigeria and Nollywood and everything that's happening on the continent on the map. We could be doing a better job and we could be casting in a way, if not casting differently, casting in a way where the people that come on are prepared to show us their real lives. Even Miriam showed us her husband when they were talking about her product launch. He had come back to Nigeria for a period of time. We got to see him on camera. I want to see more of that because the reunion for me, kind of like the rest of the season, it just fell flat. It really did. But I'm not out. I'm here to support. And I want to continue to support. But what I need, if the producers are watching, I hope you're watching, because this is Fumi's channel and she has a massive platform. We want to support you because Africa is the future. I just think that if we take some of our constructive feedback, you can really, because to be honest with you, the American shows are on the decline. So this is your opportunity to steeply incline.
Because Gloria is in Nigeria. Asma is in Nigeria. Asma, what do you think? Gloria, welcome back. What do you think, Asma? And then we have Omar. Omar, are you there?
Yes, I am.
The part where you're saying the parts where you're saying they should bring drama like Real Housewives of LA, Atlanta, and all of that, it
Ah,
can't be like that. Do you know why? Because Africa, we have our own way of life, we have our lifestyle entirely
okay.
different from the West. So you
Yeah.
don't expect us, just because we jump into a familiar franchise, we should not copy everything word for word. You have to watch us as Africa and get used to Africa, just the way people are used to the Afro dances now. You have to watch us
Okay.
that way and get used to it. And Africa, yeah, in as much as yes, we have embraced social media now, but we're still private. We're still very,
Ah,
because the social media here is very aggressive, in as much as we're embracing it, but it's very aggressive and they lack conscience. So people can say things that will hurt you. So hence the reason why you see people tend to protect their privacy.
okay. So that
But
goes
I'm a
for
so
Glory fan,
I
but I don't know anything about Glory, and it's fine.
I no, I listen, I overstand and I understand because although I'm a product of the West, I'm raised by parents who are born and raised in Africa, who are refugees. So I'm not
yeah.
entirely disconnected, but I overstand. No, I wasn't born and raised in Africa. Still, as somebody who is very connected to my African culture, who I travel around Africa extensively, I'm not asking for the same drama of Beverly Hills. I'm saying I want more of an insight into your life. I want to know who is in your life. I mean, Fumi is different. Like she's on her channel, it's her channel. I don't expect to see Ola and Adrian. But if you're
Hmm.
coming onto a reality TV show, if Fumi had
You would
accepted
have
the
to an
offer,
extent.
yeah, if Fumi had
Yes.
accepted the offer of being a Real
I would.
Housewives of
Yeah.
London, I would have wanted to see more of Ola and Adrian. I'm not saying I need the drama, but I needed it to be explained to me better,
Because they are
right?
wives.
Because there was drama. There was drama
Yeah.
that transpired, but there was a cut, and then nobody really talked about it and really didn't tell us what happened. Fumi and Glory did give us a little bit more insight, but I was confused as a viewer
Yeah.
what was really happening because the cut wasn't it wasn't a good cut as far as like what they did post production. So
Yes.
I don't need salaciousness, but if you're going to be on a reality show, I want to see more of your life, a little
No,
bit more.
a
I don't
hundred
need to
percent.
know. I don't need to know the intimate details, but I do need
Yes.
to at least see the partner that you're sharing your life with.
You're
That's
married
your
to.
But
life. Who
but the irony of the whole thing is the franchise is Real Housewives. But if you look at the show, among six of them, it's just two people that are married, Miriam and Laura. The rest are Dabota and Carolina are divorcees. The other two are single mothers.
but they all
Dadem and
have
Sophia, they're
partners.
single mothers. And
But they all
probably
have
their partners don't
partners.
want to show themselves. Bro, these are just
Yeah.
partners. You know, in Africa, we don't consider partners as the way you people in the West consider partners. They are just their boyfriends. So we don't consider that relevant. Yes, I be
So let me
Glory.
ask you this. So let me ask you this. To you, would you, okay, so let me pose this question to you. Were you engaged out of the 3 seasons? Was this your preferred season? Did you find this to be the most entertaining? And were you yearning for anything else? Was there anything that you would have liked to have received or consumed from this particular season that you didn't get?
Omar, you know what? Answer that question. Welcome to the show, my darling.
All right. Thank you very much. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, darling. I can hear. We
Oh
can
yeah.
hear
Thank you
you.
very much. I mean, I'm a very keen follower, and I'm a Gambian. I've realized that your mom is from Gambia.
Nangarev?
My fine, nakam.
Mafia.
So since then, I've been a very good follower. I'm a girl's dad, and your channel provides a lot of insights into women empowerment and so many things. And I get hooked literally every single day when there's a new
Oh,
episode. Even when I'm sleeping, your channel is on and I'm listening to it. And similar things go to Glory as well. I follow
yes.
your channel very well. I mean, I get the insight of Big Brother Niger and all of these shows that I like. And I think you're a very smart young lady. And then you should keep doing what you're doing. But that
Oh,
aside, um, for the Real Housewives of Lagos, personally, I don't watch it for the drama,
mm,
but I want to learn the lessons. And the lessons, when I mean I want to learn the lessons, I want to understand naturally when people meet each other, how do they deal with each other? And
mm,
how is it that when you meet new people that probably are at your standard or above your standard, how do you react? So for
mm,
me, is the lessons. So, but
mm,
to the question that you just asked, what would I love to see more? I think I would also love to see the family side. I got to
mm,
see how Sophia talked about how her day is revolves around Imade, and I've also seen a bit of Dabota and her daughter. I've seen a bit of Mariam in the last season with her daughter and all of those things. And because
Yes.
I said, like I said, I'm a girl's dad,
Yes.
that part for me is important, and that's why when Tanya was coming the last season, I was excited because he's an author of children's book, and I felt that he
Okay.
was going to be a relevant addition, and I'm going to learn a lot because I'm not a dramatic person, and I
Yeah.
do really think that the show should go beyond the drama it provides. People should be
Yes.
able to watch and learn life lessons from it. So for me, if I have to go to the point to say what will I love to see, I love to see that part. Bring the
Yes.
drama and all of that because that sells your soul, but also give us the lessons that
Yes.
we can carry out of the show for everybody that is watching.
A hundred
So to
percent.
to the current season, I do believe that Sophia has a boat. I think she does, and I do believe that Dabota was intimidated by Sophia. And that was the reason she received the hit that Dabota gave her, because there was absolutely no reason for her to have received the hit that Dabota gave her by simply saying, I don't like my room because it is
Mm.
facing trash. Dabota knew the room is facing trash and
Yes.
still decided to give it to her. That could only be intimidation, nothing else for me. And I also believe that Dabota lied, especially in the reunion when she said to Caroline when she was building her mall. I don't know if anybody picked that up. When I was building my mall, I don't know, Caroline came there, blah, blah,
Yeah.
blah. But when Sophia did brought up the issue that the blogs are saying you don't own your mall. And she said, I never claimed to say that I own a mall. You understand? So Dabota
I heard
lied.
that part.
Yeah, so she lied as well. So if she's bringing
Oh
receipts
wow.
that Sophia did not own the boat and she lied, I don't understand why Sophia found herself in that situation. But I genuinely believe that with the way she had come to say that I own a boat, she owned a boat, and I don't also believe that that should have really been the story, entire storyline of Sophia this whole season. There could have been more that people wanted to. I personally would want to know how they were dealing with the custody battle. That could have been a life
Wow.
lesson for so many people that are watching. I'm not divorced and I don't pray to do
That's
so.
true.
But I do know that I've seen a lot of my colleagues that are struggling with custody battles and how to deal with their children from divorced families and things like that. Sophia's addition to that could have given us a life lesson, or how they are even
Okay.
co-parenting. So I
Wow.
probably would have loved to see
Wow.
that. I would have loved to see that from Caroline as well, the both, and even Diadem. Right.
A hundred
So
percent.
yeah. So finally, for me, I believe in Caroline, and I also
Yes.
believe that
Okay.
Caroline has reason to be mad at the border. The fact that people do not owe you loyalty when you do something. I mean, we are all humans. When I do good for you, I expect you to also watch my back for me.
Exactly.
That is
That's true.
human nature. So Caroline doing all of those good stuff for the border and feeling that the border had backstabbed her, she has all the reasons to be mad at the border. I don't agree that she should have gone violent on her. And then Glory did say this, and I think it's an important lesson for me as well. That even if you are on the part of the truth, when you lay your hand on someone, then you become the villain in that situation. And I think
Yes.
that's
That's
what
true.
had happened to Caroline. I don't think she's bipolar or delusional as a lot of Nigerians had painted her. But
Exactly.
I
Yeah.
do believe that this is a woman that has given a lot of love to someone that needed it. And when she
Yeah.
needed it, the person was not there. Anybody in her situation would have been hurt.
Hmm.
So for me, I think these were the most important lesson. And again, Auntie Fumi, you like using the word fabulous. I think Laura wasn't fabulous in this season. She wasn't. And I did believe that what Caroline said, Laura might have said one or two things to pitch the women against her. Because Laura, if you remember in one of her confessionals, Laura did say that I don't live for these ladies.
Yes.
And
Yes.
I don't care about Caroline, I think, something like that.
Yes.
So
To that
because
effect.
you do
Yeah.
not care about her, that could have been a trigger for you to want other people to also not care about her,
Mm-hmm.
knowing the
Yeah.
history that they have. So if I have
Yeah.
said a lot, I mean, Sorry for taking a lot of your time, but I'm a
No,
huge
no, no,
fan
no,
of
no, no.
both
It
of
was good
you.
to hear you.
And
Yes,
thank you
please.
for creating these platforms, because I mean, I will remain a fan, both Glory and Auntie Fumi.
Please, please, all of you, please subscribe to Glory, because Glory is here for
I
the long
subscribe.
run.
I'm a subscriber at
I
Glory's
enjoy
channel.
this very much. Maybe we should do it on a regular basis where we go back and forth, and because we love this, to hear from you and to give a fresh perspective. And I so respect the two of you here, because what you said made a lot of sense, and now it gives us an insight on how they're filming, on how really you look at one individual to another. Because you're right, maybe there's not enough empathy for Caroline. Maybe Caroline really just felt bullied, and she needed somebody in her corner. Maybe she doesn't even have that. We don't know what kind of support system she has, and that's why she
So
relies
true.
so heavily on the girls. It's only through your words that it just occurred to me that maybe she doesn't have a support system.
Auntie Fumi, can I say something? Yeah.
Please go ahead, my love.
Yeah. You see, this was the point I was trying to make last week when I was reviewing the first part of the reunion with I think after you left with my
Yes.
community, I received a lot of drags. A lot of people were bashing me. I don't know if, sorry, your name, is it
Oma,
Adiza?
Oma.
Asmao.
Oma.
Yeah,
Asmao.
Asma. I don't know
Adiza,
Asmao.
are you still
Oh,
there?
Asma. I don't know if Asma
yeah.
was there, but it was hectic
Which
because
which one was it? I was there last week. I sent
the
a
first,
request, but I could not come up. Okay, not
no, it was the
okay. No,
first
I was on
part.
the
It was
second
the
one.
first
I
part of
missed the
the
first one. I missed the first one. The second one, I was there.
now the second one, which was the part one of the reunion. I was trying to make a point that this thing also boils down to how production portrays these women. I understand that every season, they want to give us the villain, the one that's the instigator, the one that's the bone collector, the one that is the shadiest. They want to give different, images to these women, but they also need to remember that some of the viewers, they interpret the show differently. Some people will see the drama and the entertainment and take it for what it is, whilst others do not necessarily understand the entertainment aspect of it. They take it really personal. And I personally think that the way they edited the season, the way the season was done, especially the reunion, it was very detrimental to Sophia and Caroline. They gave Dabota so much grace. They completely cleaned. It was like a PR for Dabota and Diadem. They made both of them look so blameless and faultless for
Yeah.
whatever. And then they amplified, Sophia's claim of owning a boat. Like they made it a big deal for a long duration of time in the first part of the reunion. And then they also made Caroline's attack on Dabota as a focus. The host kept on asking Caroline, oh, so do you take accountability for attacking Caroline? Do you take accountability? I think it was one of the housewives that had to mention the thing about triggers, that when you trigger people, they would definitely respond, they would definitely react. And then the host now had to change it and say, oh, yes, let's not forget about triggers. When you trigger people, you cannot teach them how to react. That was what I was saying about production, that the way they edit the show, the way they ask questions, especially during the reunion, it kind of it creates an image of bias. It's a lopsided, situation. It's not balanced at all. And that's why I also said that, because I mean nobody supports what Caroline did, but the way the reunion went, they completely amplified Caroline's offense over everything that Dabota did this season, which was wrong.
Okay.
Which was wrong.
Okay. I understand. Asma, my
But
darling.
Glory,
Yes.
Glory. For me, or the way I see it as a viewer, I also review this Big Brother. I also review this Real Housewives show as well. Now, the way I saw it, looking at our typical African life, Niger life especially, people do not accept accountability. Now, the moment you accept accountability of your actions, you're tagged an underdog. That early stage where Caroline apologized to Laura, that was where everyone started looking at her like a weakling. Did you realize that Laura refused to apologize till even the reunion? That apology, unfortunately, because of the way we think or the way we see things, Lori, in a traffic, when somebody hits your car, is the person that will shout the more, is the person that will attack you the more. Because that is our life of open eye. So when you give the opposite of what people are used to, unfortunately, you'll be looked upon like an underdog. Now, for me, I think that was what affected Caroline. If you notice, Dabota and Diadem had this high regard for Caroline at the beginning. But the moment Caroline sat down and apologized to Laura, did you realize they lost respect for her? That was the day Dabota even said she cannot apologize to anybody.
Oh, wow.
Well, okay. On the
Did you see it in
contrary,
that angle?
no. On the contrary, in my community, yeah, people were actually applauding Caroline because remember in season one when she retaliated at Laura, a lot of people were. A lot of Nigerians are very cultured, like very traditional and conservative. They were like, oh, no matter what anybody does to you, you should never accuse a woman of adultery in a marriage. So Dabota received, rather, Caroline received a lot of heat during season one because people were asking, were you there? Were you in the same room when Laura was getting pimped? People completely overlooked what Laura did. So Caroline
Exactly. Laura too,
apologizing. Yeah,
yeah, that's
yeah.
true.
So
Laura too
Caroline
insulted Caroline for sleeping
apologizing.
with small boys.
Yes, people
Was she
overlooked
also there
that.
when
Exactly.
Caroline was doing that? And besides, let me say
Exactly.
something. It's not like I support whatever. But when they make that statement, frankly speaking, have you noticed that thing? I don't know. I don't see it as an insult. She sleeps with small boys. Hello, are the small boys not human beings?
No,
What if
it's
it's the
a
other
big
way around?
deal. It's a big deal because remember, they have children, and even though Caroline at the time was no longer with her husband, or probably was with her husband, it's a big deal. It's still considered adultery. This is Africa, this is Nigeria.
No,
People
no,
would
no. I think
paint
that was when
you.
she was no longer married. No, she was no longer married. She was no longer married. It's just that Caroline has been divorced for a long time. It's just that it wasn't brought to public knowledge on time. Caroline has been divorced very long time.
Yeah. So
Like
what I
how
was
many
just going
Yeah.
to
years?
say,
Can I say this?
okay.
I think that well, I'm not a Nigerian. Like I said, I'm a Gambian and live in Sweden. But I do believe that there isn't enough grace for Caroline. I don't know Caroline's life story whatsoever, but with what I have seen online, people haven't taken their time to really understand this woman because few days ago I've seen her been dragged again for not having friendship with Sophia because they claim that they have unfollowed each other for whatever reason it is. And then if you look at even with Chioma and Caroline's situation, when all was Caroline made sure that Chioma's excesses were all contained. She was there for Chioma when everything was good. And even at the beginning of the DC, when Caroline met Sophia, you could genuinely tell that this woman, when she loves you genuinely. So people
Mm.
haven't given her
Yeah.
enough grace. People haven't taken their time to understand what happened to her. And then she did say this in the reunion: "You haven't lived in my shoe to know where it
Yes.
hurts."
Yes.
And I believe until someone walked in her shoe, you probably wouldn't understand what it looks like. Because I mean, I've also seen news that they were saying Caroline was an it girl in Nigeria at a time before she got married.
Yes, yes,
And
yes.
then when she got
Yeah.
married, her brand almost died. She came out of
That's
the
true.
marriage with nothing, and then she had to start rebuilding her brand. That must be really difficult for anybody to solve that. So I feel that there should be a bit of grace for Caroline to understand her journey, where she was coming from, what happened to her, and where she is currently. But unfortunately, there is none. And for me, my only pity for Caroline is her children that are seeing all of this backlash, all of these negative things, and all of these bad things being said to her online, and probably even the men that are going to be in those children's life, especially her daughter, if they are not maybe sensible people, could carry some of these things forward for them. So for me, that's the only pity. That's why I said I did watch this thing with the perspective of a girl's dad trying to
Yeah.
learn one or two lessons that I think might be important for when I'm raising my girls, but also importantly to have these conversations with my wife because she isn't someone that is interested in these spaces, and I believe that there's a lot of life lessons to be learned there. So that's my own for Caroline, really.
Oh, thank you so very much. I thoroughly enjoyed this. We have to do this again. My beautiful Glory, what are your final sentiments?
Hi. And for me, final sentiments. First of all, I am relieved that the season has come to an end. I
Yeah.
did not. I enjoyed it at some point. Later on, I did not enjoy it anymore. It was hectic, the flavor was out of it. And
Yes.
if there would be another season, this is something we say all the time and it still comes back the same way, but let's
Yes.
just say for the sake of saying it, we hope that they would do better. That's what we hope for.
Amen.
We hope they
Amen.
would do better. Last time we said we do not want Uti as the host, but it's
Yeah.
like they keep giving us the middle finger and they brought him back. It does, I mean, it doesn't have to be me, it doesn't have to be me, but they can do
Yes.
better. That's the point.
Yeah.
They can
Yeah.
do better, and they can also do better with the storylines. It's
Yes.
getting boring now. It's not
Yes.
entertaining anymore.
Yes.
This season, I think it was like the first 3-4 episodes that were quite exciting, and
Yes.
afterwards they were just dragging one thing over and
Yeah.
over and over. So they should do better. They should do
Do better.
better. That's
Asma,
it.
final words?
For me, I feel it's not that deep, whatever. In as much as they say social media never forgets, but I just feel that it's not that deep. All of them will be fine last, they will all be all right. Are they not
Last.
getting endorsements everywhere? They are busy getting endorsements, so last, is not that deep.
Oh God. Omar, thank you so much. Jerajif,
Thank you.
please
Thank you
come
very much.
again. I would love to see you. Thank you so much. My Queen Glory. Thank you. To Fumi Nation, to Glory Queens. What an exciting evening. Thank you, and thank you. And we'll come again. Let us
Thank
also
you.
know. Let us know. Maybe you suggest other episodes, other videos, other Big Brother. Let me know so we can come back and do this. I think
Absolutely.
this was fantastic. I lived for this. 100%.
Yes.
All
Thank you
of my
so
love.
much, Auntie
Mwah.
Fumi.
Good night.
Yeah.
Good
Thank
night.
Thank you so
you.
much. Bye.
Thank you. Thank you so much.